All right, the LA Chargers are out of the playoffs, but if you've been paying attention, there's hints being dropped about what the Chargers are going to do this offseason. If you're new to the channel, we're Detroit Lions fans, but we've had this channel all year long talking about the Chargers, and we're only just getting started because we're in the midst of a huge offseason that is going to be a lot of fun, just because you can tell you've got the foundation, the core of a team, a mature team, a real franchise now. So there's going to be a lot of good things. You've got $70 million in cap space, and you've got the ability now with a coach and a quarterback to really make some moves. So that's why we love following this team. We're Jim Harbaugh fans, and that's how we kind of started this. Okay. First hint after the game, Jim Harbaugh says, hey, not Justin Herbert's fault. He has to be able to complete the motion of his throw. He was getting so much pressure. So that tells you offensive line's going to change. The second thing is running back. Go get Ezekiel Elliott. It shows that you just weren't in love with your running backs, and you're just going to make sure that you get more dynamic there. The other part, tight end, is like, you gotta have a tight end in the year 2024, 2025. What year are we in? The year 2025, you have to have a tight end. It is an absolute must. So look for them to get a tight end. And then in the secondary, you saw what happens when Derwin James gets down in the box, nickel, linebacker, he's right in the mix. So they want to get two good safeties and really invest in safety. That actually makes their defense even better because it frees up Derwin James. These are things that we've picked up on this year that we saw. Another thing is, I don't know if I already said this or not, but wide receiver, just you nailed Ladd McConkey pick. Shout out to you on that one. But now look at what one good wide receiver does. Can you get another good wide receiver, and how do you do it? We're going to take a look at that in this video, how you actually do it. There's an article that came out that I think is absolutely perfect. It said, all right, here are 4 ways you can upgrade the offense. And it's exactly it matches exactly the hints that we saw. If you're reading the tea leaves of like, yeah, wouldn't it be nice if we had this or that? Here it is. Chargers invest heavy in another top line receiver. So if you bump over here, this is PFF's ranking of best available players. Go to position, wide receiver. T. Higgins. Yep, that'd be good. So what they're doing, they're taking the PFF, age, everything into consideration, and they give you T. Higgins. Yeah. Chris Godwin. Love that one because he's a little bit older, has the injury thing, so maybe you could get him for a little bit cheaper. Amari Cooper. Yep. And I know he's 30. Don't care. Stephon Diggs. I don't think so. DeAndre Hopkins. And so you can get these. So that's just an example of 5 guys right there. There's one or 2 premier wide receivers. So you need to draft one or get one in free agency. But it's just, you got to have one. And maybe, and they say it in here too, maybe Keenan Allen comes back. He's been hitting ball to come back to LA. Okay. Garrett Wilson, you'd have to trade for him. It costs too much. I don't think they're going to do that one. All right. Step number 2. Chargers draft one of the 2 top tight ends in this upcoming draft. We already talked about this. We did a mock draft. Colston Loveland is a star. Michigan guy. Harbaugh knows him. Let's go. You're set. You've got your quarterback, your star tight end, and it's just, let's go. It would allow Will Dissly to do what he was signed to do in the first place, and that is block. He is not a pass-catching tight end. So this is where the problem lies. If you're a tight end and they know that you are a run-blocking tight end, that changes everything, right? But if you're a tight end that comes in, it's like, I don't know. He can run block, go out in routes. He can split out. He can go in motion. That's a different ball game, and that's what you want to find in a tight end. Number 3, Chargers replaced 2 starters on the offensive line. We talked about this. They are going to absolutely, if there's nothing else the Chargers do, they're going to invest in the offensive line, draft picks, free agency. They'll spend the first 3 draft picks on offensive linemen. Offensive line, we said this in another video. Let me know if you agree with this. You can't be bad with a good offensive line. You can't be. It's impossible. You can run the ball. You can play action. You can protect the quarterback. Everything you need. So you've got the quarterback. You've got the coach. That's the 2 hardest things. You look at teams all over. That's what they're trying to find. Can we get a coach? Can we get a coach? Raiders are like, how about you? Nope. Next, you now, and they just keep going through these coaches because you got to get the coach. You look at the Commanders, look at the Lions. They found the coach, things are going, and then you need a quarterback. You've got that. You've got that. One bad game happens to be in the playoffs. I get it. You're out, and everyone's like, I don't know about Herbert. I just don't know. Yeah, I do, and he's pretty good. He's really good. It's like okay, the Herbert thing, really quick. Comment on this. It's like there's 32 quarterbacks in the NFL. It's let's say there's 40 because you got some backup quarterbacks too that are pretty good. That are or not good, but you know what? Maybe could work. I don't know. So you've got 40 houses in a neighborhood. You've got one of the nicest houses. There's maybe 4 others that are nicer than you, 5, 6 others that are nice to you. And you're like, okay, nope, don't want this nice house. We're going to get another one. This one sucks. Where are you going to get a house? The nicer houses aren't going to sell you theirs. So this thought of like, let's get rid of him, or he's not good, or we don't want him. And again, this isn't the minority. Most Chargers fans that are thinking straight are thinking, we're lucky to have him. I love him. He's great. But if you're thinking, just not, okay, well then go sell your house and go buy something else. And what's available out there? There's only 40 houses. There's some stuff here you could try to fix it up. But do you want to do that? Thank you. Okay. Next thing. Slater, we know that. Okay. So, yeah, the number 4 thing was Slater. So this tells you that what you've got is I mentioned it here. Let's look at it, see it. It's an eye chart. Oh my goodness. Let me see if I can zoom in on this thing. There we go. 70 million in cap space. You've got Khalil Mack contemplating retirement, which is crazy because he's usually that doesn't impact you that much when a guy's looking to retire because it's like, well, you're older, appreciate everything, but he's actually really good still. So we'll keep an eye on what that means or what that does, because it's like, man, he is a really good player. But you see it right there, $73 million in cap space. And so again, you still have to draft well. That's where you win. That's where it all has to go down, is drafting well. But this allows you to be selective and kind of, you know what, take a chance on somebody here, take a chance on somebody there. And this is interesting because Justin Herbert makes a lot of money. He's in that top, all these quarterbacks keep kind of making a little bit more, just like houses, right? You just kind of keep the prices are just going to keep going up. So I know his number's a big number, but it's just in a year, he'll be like the 7th highest paid quarterback. And then he'll be the highest again. It just kind of keeps going, but he makes a lot and you still have $70 million in cap space. So if you look at it, you draft well, and here we go. Here's a mock draft. Chargers draft A&M edge. This is an idea. And I love this one just because every mock draft has the Chargers taking Tyler Warren or Colston Loveland in the first round. 100%. We just talked about it. Tight end, I think, really changes things. But you can get a defensive end, kind of replace Joey Bosa. So now you get rid of Joey Bosa, more cap space. You get rid of Khalil Mack, more cap space. You draft really well. So in this one, you got a defensive end. And then the other side of things, you get Georgia guard Tate Ratledge. We just talked about it. You're going to change over the guards, draft really well, be really selective, yet strategic and aggressive in free agency. You kidding me? This seems back like that, fighting for the division. Because the Chiefs, I mean, just what we're talking about. I didn't know this was going to be a tight end podcast, but you look at Travis Kelce's getting older. I know Patrick Mahomes just kind of keeps on winning no matter what happens, but that one affects him. Who knows what their future looks like? Every year's different. It's wide open. So let me know your thoughts in the comments, and we'll see all of you on the next one.